It's great. Oh, there we go. Okay. Whoo. So this thing with free, excuse me, this thing with free Kriegspiel. I, where do people get the idea that it's going to be writing a new rule book? How do you? I'm kind of confused as to why people are portraying it as the way it is. Um, I mean, let's just take a look here. How does this work? I'm confused why people are doing it that way. Um, how does he? Yeah. So like this that's actually, you know what? I'm just gonna let's see. Uh, so I don't really understand. And no rules like game stays rules life. It plays long enough. Yeah, no, that's absolutely not true. Here's the thing: what you're talking about is not making rules. Um, See, it's not about that. The problem is that's not how it works. It's a method, not a philosophy. Um, so uh, it's just kind of bizarre. So what you're doing is here's the simplest way to do it. I had a person who had never played an RPG before. I wanted her to play in the group because she'd always wanted to play an RPG, and because of she just hadn't done it. So instead of saying here, and we were playing Star Wars West End games. So instead of saying here's a bunch of books you have to read, and going through long tutorials on how to create a character and all that crap. Instead, what I did is I sat down uh, with um, with her and just created the character with her. That was just a walkthrough. That's simple. And then as far as the game, gave her a handful of basics, and then said, "Now you know what's going on as far as movement and stuff like that." Most of it was theater of the mind anyway, and what the dice pools meant on her page, on her character sheet. Beyond that, that was it. She didn't have to read the book. She didn't have to use the book. She didn't have to know any of the other stuff. That's the point. People make it out to be something it's not. And all it is simply alleviating a player from a learning curve or the burden of having to know rules. You can just come to the table and play as a person, or a character, I should say. You're already a person, at least hopefully you are. Play as the character you want to play, or command the units you want to play um, in a natural way. I want them to go take that hill. I want my fighter to go attack that minotaur, whatever it is, instead of, you know, Jurgen the fighter draws his crossbow and fires. Roll 4d6. Oh, I hit. I've got 4 damage against your minotaur. Yay. And having to go and calculate all that, the DM's supposed to do it for them. Simply say the action that you're going to conduct. I raise my crossbow and fire at the minotaur. Okay, here's what happens. That's it. There's no writing a rule book on there. So I don't know where that's coming from. and it's not a philosophy, it's a method. So, um, that right. Yes. Yes, to attract players. No, it's not the truth though. But it's not. It's not it has nothing to do with house rules. So there's that. I mean, I just, but the whole thing about this system, this whole thing that just is why do people bitch about rules and then bitch when you try to take them away? I just think people are contrarians that'll argue any angle of any issue, no matter what it is. So, but anyway, no one's listening. So it just drives me nuts to have people misinterpret something or reframe something as what it's not, then argue over it and act like they have some knowledge over you. It's very irritating.